Anyways, why are we talking about Canadian? Why are you bringing up Canadian bands?
Oh, because it is the special Canada Day edition, but Canada Day is, of course, later in the week. So
what do you mean, of course? Half our American viewers have no idea what
Canada Day is. July 1st.
Yeah, we all know about the 4th of July, but
yes, my birthday, of course.
We got July 1st.
The 4th of July being noteworthy for being Blaine Smith's birthday. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it.
Yeah, America's birthday and Blaine's birthday.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yes, but Canada's birthday is July 1st, and while we don't get too sentimental about nationalism over here, we do get sentimental.
What the fuck is Canada Day?
We do get sentimental, even from the UK. There you go, Bristol, UK thrash. Good. Another person not in Canada that we should probably let that know. Yeah, so our country was founded or stolen, depending on what, depending on where you're falling on the issue, on July 1st.
Depending on how indoctrinated you are and what propaganda you buy into. Yes, stolen or founded.
Depending on who you ask, on July 1st. So while we don't necessarily care about that, we do care about the fact that Canada produces so much metal and so much high quality metal. So we thought, to celebrate Canada's contributions to the metal world, we would run through the best Canadian metal and give you some essential albums. I'm sure we'll talk about some, we've, some Patreon supporters listed some that they wanted us to talk about. And there'll probably be a couple that we talk about that you might not know about. We got some good kept secrets here. One of them we talked a little bit about with Sarah on the last stream, but I'm sure we'll talk about them again on this stream.
JPM, it's great to see you, buddy. No, we don't do music feedback or reactions. We can't stand music. Stop asking.
No. No. Yeah. Let me guess. You're playing a metalcore band?
Yeah, and you want us to watch your video.
You want us to watch a metalcore video, right?
Try and post the link in the chat. See what happens.
I think you can.
What? You got to turn that off, man.
I don't know. I'm used to my stream. It's the Wild West over there.
Yeah, dude. His stream's the Wild West. There's no rules. Go to his stream and ask him to react. You want an honest reaction to your fucking band? Go to Blaine's stream and ask him to watch your band. !
Metal comedy in the chat. They aren't even following Code Blue. They never are.
They never are.
They never are.
Yeah.
Hey, here's my band. Can you play? It's so funny. There's the follow. I always make this joke on my stream because they're always like, "Yo, can you listen to my band? It's super sick. It'll blow your socks off." And I'm always like, "Why is it always the bands that aren't following that ask that?" And then you just the notifications, ding, new follow. Oh, nice, thanks, much appreciated.
Metal ask how you doing.
Okay, so now will you listen to it? What kind of music is it? Metalcore. We don't really like metalcore around here. You'll love this metalcore. All right, let me listen to it. Turn it on. I don't love this metalcore. Blaine loves metalcore. Yeah, metalcore is my favorite genre.
Coffee beats tea, as if that was ever even a conversation. Like, unless you're a Christopher Oblivion, catch our Shredmaster on his own channel. That's me. How did you do that? You have a command for me?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have.
Of course.
Only Doom Death is real.
It's disgusting. It's a disgusting way to talk.
Yeah.
How about core metal?
Coffee beats tea. Unless you're Christopher Oblivion, coffee always beats tea.
Yeah, metalcore bands are always trying to break the rules. Metalcore
Check
bands
out my new
love
Silent Core album. Came out 6 months ago. Love that. David, how you doing, buddy? JPM, how you doing? Christopher Oblivion. Hey, what? Christopher Oblivion did send me a really good tea once. A biscuit tea. It was lovely.
Yeah. We got some biscuits. I still have that jam.
I know. Dibber Kaiser was like,
still have that jam.
DK is fucking jam.
It's still that jam. And honestly, the worst part isn't even the jam. It is I obviously didn't read yours, but the very nice heartfelt note that he wrote to go with the jam that is just sitting in my basement. And it's been there for over 3 months, I think.
Way more than 3 months, dude.
It's jam, at least. It's getting better, maybe.
It's aging.
It just gets better, right?
A nice aged jam.
And it started out fantastic. Jackie ended up eating most of it because she loves her.
I sent those in January.
We haven't seen each other that much. He's been touring. He's a superstar. Oh, shit.
Grant, what up, baby?
Oh, shit. It's one of our favorite streamers. Smile. in the chat.
Why you say it's one of our favorite streamers? How do you know that Grant's one of my favorites?
Rude.
That's not rude.
Rude.
That's me being real with him. How you doing, Grant? Good to see you, bud.
Rude.
No, Grant knows.
After you forced him to play a 6-minute solo.
I was just telling Blaine about how you messaged me and you're like, damn, dude, that backing track. And the whole story behind that backing track is that it was meant for 2 people, not for 1 person.
Yeah.
I made that for the finale of Shredders of Metal for 2 people to go head to head and trade off like a jazz style. So cheers on playing 2 people's worth of guitar leads.
You did very well, too.
On a progression that literally repeats twice, 2 bars each time for each person is very hilarious.
Yeah.
Der Beer Kaiser gifting a sub over to Grant. Hot move, Grant. Thank you, buddy. When are you back out? Are you back out on the road soon? You must be going out soon. Who was I just talking to about you? So I was talking to someone in Europe about you. Someone they toured with you last year. Or they were supposed to tour with you, and the tour got canceled because of the pandemic, and it was going to be really good for them. Oh, it was Bill Hudson's band. Northtail. That band is fucking sick, dude. Okay. Only side story before we start. So
Great.
Bill
Love
Hudson, who I know who he is right away. We're at the ESP tent, and like I see him from a distance. I'm like, holy shit, that's Bill Hudson. He's like one of the best guitar players in the game. And he was there. He's playing guitar for Doro. He also plays guitar for Morbid Angel or I Am Morbid or whatever. And we're sitting there, and we're just like sitting there drinking a coffee at like 10 a.m. at Hellfest in the ESP tent about to do a demo. And he's like, dude, you're DK from Banger, aren't you? And I'm like, because I was introduced to him as DK from Exciter, and it was like, that's who I was there with. He's like, you're from Banger. He's like, he looks at me, he's like, so honestly, and Ken is like, can I please pitch you my band? Like, can I please pitch you my band right now? I'm like, dude, go for it. He's like, it's my life's work. He's like, I know I'm here with Doro on the main stage, and I'm in a lot of other bands, but like, my life's work is this band. Can I please pitch it to you and send you the album? And he did. It's fucking awesome.
What's the band?
It's called Northtail.
Northtail.
It's power metal. You'll love it.
Northtail.
Yeah. T-A-L-E.
T-A-L-E.
Like a story.
Are they on Metallum? They are.
Yeah, Bill's the man. Yeah, there they are.
When does their album come out? 2021.
Yeah, it's already out, and he says it's Nuclear
12th.
Blast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's making waves in Europe, but they have no North American representation.
Interesting. I definitely would have encountered this on the stream.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I listened to it.
2 Metal Archives, 2 reviews for a total of 93%. That's pretty good.
It's a great record, and he's an incredible musician. Hey,
Balenciaga 666. I like the combo of things.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's quite. It's like that's
Love
like
the fusion.
That's Blaine in a nutshell. Upper class sodomy. Yeah, that's him. Neubauer approved.
Sackbauer.
No, but then under slash mine said Neubauer, like Jay Neubauer.
Sackbauer. He meant
there
Sackbauer.
you go. Yeah.
There's we on my streams we accidentally uncovered a man. There's this guy. I don't know who he is, but I assume his name is Edmund Sackbauer because that's his Metallum username. Yeah. And he has reviewed over 1,000 albums on Metal Archives. Doesn't seem to link to an external site where he just has a blog and he's just reposting on Metal Archives to maybe gain some traction. God. Just over 1,000 reviews, and I think we found out the lowest he's ever given is like an 81%.
So he only reviews albums he likes.
He only reviews albums he likes, but apparently he likes a lot of bands. So he's become a bit of a legend on my stream.
Edmund Sackbauer.
Yeah, Sackbauer.
There's no outside website. Like, he doesn't have his own site.
No. 1,151 entries.
It's a lot of reviews.
It's a lot of reviews, man. The lowest score he's ever given, he gave 277s. The highest score he's ever given is, of course, 97. He's still hunting down that perfect 100%, and you got to respect it.
Bowen Borna, I tried to message different Sackbauers on Insta, but no replies.
No information. All we know is, you gotta love the scripting. All we know is he's Austrian.
Bringing it full circle here. Throw another shrimp on the bobby.
There you go. DDQ Originals with 100 bits. Thanks so much. Balenciaga 666 will take upper class sodomy. Hell yeah.
So back to the whole part where I said, why are we talking about Canadian bands? And then we got sidetracked again. Let's see if we can get into this for the third time. Blaine, why are we talking about Canadian bands?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Canadian bands because Bowen is gifting the sub to Sack Bauer.
Unreal.
We are talking about Canadian bands because it is the week of it is the week of Canada Day. July 1st is this Friday, which is Canada Day, which is the founding of the formal entity that is modern Canada.
You supposed to be recording this?
You just download it off Twitch afterwards.
Nice.
Yeah. Cause we got a fat internet line installed just for us. We're
I heard you got
1080p.
fiber, Fibre.
Yeah, 1080p, 60 FPS. Let's go. I'm gonna be you check out when I play Warzone tomorrow.
It's gonna be super tight.
I'm not playing Warzone.
Oh.
I'm just saying the quality's good. The quality's good. Sony pixels, all the pixels.
But how do I have 1080 60 and I don't have Fibre at home. I just have. Do you need Fibre to get that?
No.
It's just Fibre is just like the best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got like some business internet now. I got like 50 upload. That's plenty.
It's bad though.
What does this get? Like 1,000 or something?
Yeah. So
what can you do with that? What can you add? Because you only need 12 upload. You only need 12 uploads to stream. You know that.
It looks great.
Okay. I'm just wondering so what can 11 of us all stream at once? Is that what it means?
Maybe.
We could be like one of those they have we're like
No.
He knew.
That's a Blaine stream thing. That's
he
a Blaine
caught me
stream.
walking right in.
Nope.
He knew.
Not allowed. Not allowed.
He knew. He knew. Dude, you're sharp. You're sharp. I was testing you. You're sharp.
Oh boy.
Boys.
Yeah, things are gonna get out of hand. Hey, Mess Life, good to see you.
Mess Life, how you
and
doing?
Inky. Yeah, we're talking about
Inky.
So today, are you? Oh shoot.
Darn it! Shoot. Jeez Louise.
Are you
What's
in
wrong?
town July 12th?
That's a great question. What day of the week is that?
It's a Tuesday.
Should be, yeah.
Devil Master's playing at the Garrison.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, last show at Coalition, I remember that. That was all right.
Yeah, right.
Then they played it. Then they played it with Power Trip and High on Fire at the Danforth. Well, they've played in Toronto 3 times now.
Yeah. But the Garrison is
But it's a
obviously the
headline
perfect
show.
time.
It's
Yeah,
a headline
It
show.
is Devil
Finally a
Master at
headline
the
show.
Garrison. Yep.
Who's opening?
I don't even know.
Why are we talking about that right now? Is it just on your mind?
Because I saw Inky, and I think we were planning, if you're in Toronto, I'll be there,
Don't we still owe Inky a meetup or something?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to. I saw you, and I saw Inky, and I was like,
Inky won something, and we're supposed to meet up and do a thing. We're supposed to buy him another beer. Again, I already bought you beers and brought you gifts.
Yeah.
But I'll bring you more gifts and buy you more beers.
Yeah. So yeah, we could all go to that together.
They were headlining Coalition. Was that when they had the Halloween decorations on stage and shit?
Probably.
Actually, I bought the beers. Damn, we're awful hosts.
Yeah.
I brought you very rare Exciter merch, okay?
There you go.
I brought you one of those autographed 8x10s.
So, yeah, we should do the Devil Master the 12th. We should all go together.
Yeah,
and
I'm into
unfortunately, he won't be able to make that show. But Pain X Piss is in town at the same time as well.
Pain and also.
Yes.
Wow.
So there's a show called Poison Rune, which is kind of a more punky, kind of washed out with a little bit of metal in there. That's
Sounds
on the
like
17th,
right up my alley.
at Seascape.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very punky venue.
So we can go to that show together too. So if you're in Toronto,
Starcolino.
there's some shows that I'll be at. Maybe you can catch Mr. Dekay at there too. But we are not talking
We need to
about
make a
any of
tier
this.
list. This is out of control.
This is we're just we haven't hung out in a while. It's exciting.
I haven't been on
missed you.
Twitch in a month, man.
We missed you. We missed
Crazy.
you, buddy.
I need to. I'm gonna do this weekend, folks. I'm thinking 12-hour streams on Friday and Saturday. It's gonna be out of control.
Oh yeah, and Mess Life says over at Psycho, she wants us over. We gotta go over for a pool party.
Pool party at yours.
Yeah.
Are you gonna come to Psycho Swim on Thursday? Because that'll be double.
Double pool party.
Pool parties all week. Just all You know what? I just want to live in a pool, all of Psycho, and watch every band from a pool. Can we bring a kiddie pool and put it in the House of Blues venue too? Live in the pool.
Still
12-hour stream for Canada Day. I don't really celebrate Canada Day. I'm more of a 4th guy. It's Blaine's birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday, July 4th. Happy birthday, Blaine. So you're going to do a big stream this weekend?
I have to. I haven't streamed in a month. I need to get I got my guitars back. I'm ready to stream.
Nice.
Got to do it.
Nice,
Got to get back on Twitch. Got to do the marathon stream. I'm going to get a bunch of coffee and Red Bull and 87 million beers and just go for it.
Do you stream on Sundays?
I stream usually on Friday and Saturday, but who knows? I might stream overnight Saturday into Sunday. If the community is willing to stay up with me and party, I'll stay up and party.
Because we could, if you wanted to come over and hang out a bit on the 3rd, maybe we could do like
Stop making me plan extra things on my schedule right now.
Metal Monthly Research stream on Sunday. You could come and do it with me if you want.
If I don't stream for 24 hours over the course of Friday and Saturday, perhaps. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try and do 12 on Friday and Saturday and then die for 3 days.
Okay. So maybe not, but just,
yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Saturday's the second. Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But we'll see. I'm going to join the Discord. I'll make an announcement.
Yeah, I'm doing a little comedian house party on Saturday anyways, so Sunday I'll probably be pretty burnt out as well, so it could be a very dead stream. But again, we are not talking
We're not here to talk about
future.
Other things and other stuff and Devil Master shows.
We are here.
Or Poison Rune shows. We're here to talk about
essential Canadian metal.
Joe Thrasher has a song called Canadian Metal. Also, Joe Thrasher's my pick for legend record of Canada, Metal Forces. Joking, but it's a really good record. Maple Metal, yeah.
Maple Metal. So it is Canada Day on Friday. We don't stream on Friday, and especially we wouldn't if it's Canada Day. That's a holiday for a business. You know, he can stream. He's going to stream his personal streams, but and so will I. But we're here to do this today.
Due to bias. Can I just say that when I did the speed metal episode, like 4 years before I was in Exciter, when I did the speed metal Lockhorns and the OG version of Lockhorns in this room, that I picked Exciter as the legend.
Well, also, I mean, we're picking albums here, and it's not like Dekay is on these albums.
Yeah, there's no bias.
So there's no bias. No bias.
It's just the best Canadian metal band of all time.
No bias. There's definitely no bias on this list because I don't even think I uploaded an Ultratomb album cover because I
no Ultratomb?
I tried to I think I tried to float on the old school death metal revival episode, and just nobody knows that band, and I really need to work harder, I guess.
Yeah, I took Anvil off the list and put Exciter on. Or I took Anvil off the Thrash list. That's what I did. I took Anvil off Thrash. I did Speed with Martin Popoff. Anyways.
Essential and Anvil are maybe not necessarily words that go together too hard.
Metal on metal. Don't be a dick.
Essential. Fun. Enjoyable.
Influential. Groundbreaking.
Essential. Essential's a heavy word.
Hey man, I still want my chair back from those guys. They stole my chair. We shared a jam space. They stole my chair. They never gave it back. It was a lovely vintage 70s orange chair.
Well, then there you go. We'll definitely keep them off the list.
Yeah, they're definitely not on any list. Like, get that chair back, Lips.
Excuse me. One of the Patreon members suggested a Diamonds album. Ooh, unfortunately, Diamonds isn't on Metal Archive, so I guess they're not a metal band.
Do you know that I asked Joe from Sacrifice, Joe Rico from Sacrifice, to come on the show, and he asked if he could put a Diamonds record. He messages me about Diamonds all the time. He
loves Diamonds.
He fucking says that album should have been huge, and I sort of agree. But anyways, let's not talk about past almost triumphs. Let's talk about Canadian true triumphs. Triumph.
I did Speed with Martin Popoff would be a great banger sticker. Oh, Triumph is a good Proto album. Because they're not metal, but it's like, you know, okay,
Rush is the bigger one.
Well, yeah, so I mean, obviously.
So how are we doing this?
I mean, the same way we always do it.
How are we doing this? Bub Zarino, how you doing?
The same way we always do it. Boom, look at that.
Thank you for the 3 months, baby.
He's
3
there.
in a row.
I'm here.
Whoa,
I'm here.
That's weird because I'm actually on this side, but I'm over there now. No,
yes.
I'm here.
But if I put you over there, if I read, it'll fuck, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, you can have stretchy arms. We like this. You can have stretchy arms. Look at how long your arm is. Whoa, I'm freaking out.
I'm freaking out, man. Man.
So yeah, we've got our tier list. We're ready to tell you the proto, the legend, the essential early, the essential modern, and of course my head is covering the rest because just sometimes an album needs to be mentioned but might wind up in the
What is the category that's covered?
Category is the rest
Littering
realness. The rest
littering
realness.
and
On the runway, the category is the rest realness. It's just me.
what is it? It's the rest. Oh, the rest. Like,
Just in
and just
case-
like some other
just in
shit.
case
that's
there's
just,
something,
like it's good but doesn't fit. Yeah. So Proto is like
Proto is
Canadian albums that aren't quite metal, but without them we wouldn't have.
We can
metal?
Here we can prove it. We can define it by just tossing moving pictures up there.
But like 20 Shontario, first ever subscription to the channel. Thank you very much.
Very kind. Dark Fabio, yeah, we'll talk about him in a bit. He'll definitely come up. But yeah, just a nice album to start things off that obviously Canadian music, especially rock, especially hard rock, especially metal, a band that listening to them would make a lot of people go on to.
So if we're gonna do one Rush album, my vote's for 2112, not Moving Pictures.
Well, the Proto isn't that important.
Or what? You think 2112 is gonna be the legend?
What? No. Yeah. No. All right.
I don't get it.
Let's put a poll to the chat. I
don't get it.
Let's put a poll to the chat. Well, we're not. No, Rush is not metal. They are metal adjacent. They are.
Yeah, but without Rush, Canadian, like Rush is the band that influenced all our Canadian heroes.
Yes.
So they're the Proto,
Yeah.
or are they the legend? So the
Not the
legend's
legend.
going to be metal.
Yeah, the legend's gonna be a metal.
Like when we do thrash and we're like Metallica's the legend, it's like because it's the legend, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna pick a metal band for legend, and you've put Proto. Great, because my list coming in here, I had like 2112 as legend because I'm like, you can't talk about Canadian metal and not put 2112 on the list.
This is how have you forgot? Do you not know how Lockhorns works? You've
We've
done
literally
these before.
never once had a tier list with Proto before legend.
Yeah.
I've
That's
never
how it
seen-
used to work on the show. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Look, Proto is just in case something comes up, we can put something up there where we go, oh, well, what about the, we have to talk about Rush, but Rush doesn't really make sense in an essential Canadian metal albums list, but it does make sense as the seed from which the metal will grow.
Sure. So Proto. Let's get some Rush in there.
So I put Moving Pictures, but apparently this is
2112,
unsatisfactory
man.
to
Yes,
you.
it's clearly
Rush,
2112.
question mark. Moving Pictures.
No.
2112.
Hell yeah.
Leave it to the chat. There's a poll in the chat. What's the Rush album that should be there? Moving Pictures or 2112?
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion.
And while you
Celine
guys are voting
Dion.
on that, April Wine.
All right, well,
I guess it's got to go in the Proto. Harder, faster, maybe.
Really? You're getting too excited about the Proto. The Proto is just where we, usually we pick like one or two albums for the Proto. You're making me download the 2112 album cover.
It's by far the heaviest and the fusion of all the elements that would become proggy, metally, Rush. Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne. If we were doing, if we were doing a punk Canadian essential punk albums, she's extremely pop punk, but pretty big impact. I mean, we can talk about metals, Avril Lavigne, Kitty. We can talk about Kitty if you want.
Should we get all the Nickelback jokes out of the way now? Bryan Adams.
Brian Adams was the first concert I ever saw.
That'd be a good show, man.
Yeah, my parents took me to Bryan
rules.
Adams. Yeah. Bryan Adams was the first one, and Jimmy Page was the second.
Whoa! What'd you see Jimmy Page? What was he doing?
Guy, just Jimmy Page.
But like what? What are you? You're not born early enough to see Outrider. What was Jimmy Page doing?
I don't remember because I was like fucking 12 or something, but...
Kim Mitchell, Rock and Roll Duty. It's just doing my rock and roll duty. Yeah, Kim Mitchell's the shit. I think we can go heavier though. I think that Rush and April Wine are heavier bands. I don't know. I didn't realize we were gonna do like a proto section.
We're stressing too much on the proto. Everybody's focusing. Mostly the proto is there to to mention Rush or when something comes up. Okay, so 2112 won in a landslide. That's just because you're all happy Dekay's back and you're trying to impress him and get him to be your friend. I'm on to you. I'm on to you. So that's been corrected. That's been corrected for y'all. 37 votes for 2112, 9 for Moving Pictures. Proto is to appease the old heads who will whine. There you go. But yes, Legend. Legend is an important thing to decide. There's two, and as far as if you ask me, there's two. There's two, and it depends on how you're slicing this cake. It depends on how you're slicing this cake. Is how you decide between the Legend for.
Are we only doing one proto?
We can, if we want to add more proto later if something comes up. But
does anyone else have an opinion on? I'm just because deep down inside I'm literally just an old head in a new head's body. If it's Rush 2112, obviously, who's our second proto? It's Rush and. Who's our second proto? Is it April Wine?
The Reefer?
Littering and? Yeah, I mean, Thor could be proto, you know? Thor is pretty proto.
But like...
Keep the dogs away. With Thor, keep the dogs away is pretty.
But nobody's heard of Thor. It's a bit of a problem.
What are you talking about no one's heard of Thor? This is proto, baby. April Wine's a strong contender. Alice in Hell. If first off, Annihilator is going to be on this list, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be Alice in Hell. You're all wrong. That's not even close to their best album. April Wine, right? And is it April Wine Faster Harder, or is it April Wine Guess Who's? Guess Who's too folky, I think. I think April Wine was harder. Guess Who's Proto.
Proto. So I gotta add another line to the tier list?
No. Proto. I think April Wine, Harder, Faster, or Nature of the Beast, perhaps. Those are the ones that I know.
Okay.
Do you guys think? Steppenwolf, yeah, I know the Steppenwolf thing too.
Proto Baggins.
Yeah, thank you, Bristol, UK. You know you're Annihilator.
Okay, people just want to talk about the metal bands. No one's talking about Proto. Everybody's already talking about Annihilator and stuff. Okay, so here's my perspective on my personal perspective on the Legend. The Legend would be one of two bands, depending on how you're slicing this cake.
Yeah, so tell me what you're thinking here, because I'm struggling with Legend. I am.
So for the Legend, there's two. I feel like it's like there's like a Coke or Pepsi kind of thing. So the Legend, obviously, very easily could be Exciter.
But Exciter what? Like Heavy Metal Maniac?
Yeah.
Just because it's like so old?
So old, and Exciter are sort of a band that created a lot of metal, right? Yeah. You know, it is a very seminal album. While it might be slightly more underground, it's pretty legendary in that, we wouldn't have Metallica as it is. Sure. We wouldn't have Megadeth as it is without Exciter, because we know those guys were showing up at Exciter gigs, loved Exciter, were listening to Exciter.
Yeah.
First-hand knowledge of that.
Came out before, Kill 'Em All the shit. Yeah.
Everything, right? Yeah. Right? Jeff Becerra telling us about him and Hetfield going to that show, begging them to play when they refused to play at the venue. Yeah, so you got that lore there. So you've got a lot that's a strong case for Exciter. But that I think makes them pretty essential. But normally with the Legend, what ends up happening is it's kind of the banner band,
the biggest.
One of the biggest, while still maintaining that kind of early credibility. And I think probably everyone would agree that probably the biggest early band that also has a long-standing history of influence and is never really went away. Voivod is a very easy pick for Legend as well.
Yeah. What Voivod record though?
So you could do again just great, because you combine great records with early Killing Technology and Dimension Hatras.
Dimension Hatros, and I mean Nothing Face 2. Nothing Face is really where they established they're thrashier at first, but Nothing Face is where they established the Voivodian sound. Dimension Hatros is a perfect record though. War and Pain and Roar are too thrashy in my opinion for that. Those are incredible records, but those aren't what Voivod's known for when it comes down to Voivodian sound. it's got to be. I think I thought about Voivod a lot before this, and in my mind, it's the Voivod album that should be on this list is either Dimension Hatros, Killing Technology, or Nothing Face. Is really what I thought.
Okay, so we've got.
I tried to get Away to come on the stream, but he's busy.
Makes sense.
Tried to get a bunch of people to come on the stream. Do you know that I won't say who, but I got really someone in a band you love, and they just told me they're like a little too camera shy to come on the stream. They're like, I love everything Banger does, and I watch all the shit on YouTube, but like I'm just not like interview. I don't do interviews for my band. I don't do. Yeah.
Ultratomb, I don't know. I've never asked them to do anything, but I got a message from a guy at one point when around the time I picked them for album of the year and he was like, hey man, oh no, I ran into a show. Some guy at a show came up to me. He was like, hey man, you're Blaine from Banger, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I just wanted to let you know I'm friends with the Ultratomb guys, and they're all just really bad at the internet. They don't do the internet good, but they all were really flattered about everything you said, but they were also just very confused as to what was happening. And I was like, nice, love to hear it. Love to hear some French death metal dudes just like, I don't know, hanging out in the forest confused by the internet, because it totally checks out. The Ultratomb flag I have hanging up in the back of my stream, the way they sold it was on their Facebook page. They just posted a photo holding it up and said, message the Facebook page and PayPal us $20 and we'll send you a flag.
Pretty funny.
They're like, we have like 40 or something. And I was like, okay, tick. This is a bad way to sell things.
The Luchatomb guys are cool. We played with them in Winnipeg, and they asked if they could open the Exciter show in Quebec City. I wonder if they got on that bill. They should. Yeah. I don't want anyone else to open that except for them.
Yeah, they're great. And man, they're great live too. And one of the dudes has also a really cool band.
Hatros, Hatross.
Yeah, no, I was.
Killing Technology.
Oh wait, I'm on the wrong. No,
or Nothing Face.
Yeah, no, sorry. I got to do the pull on here. I don't remember how to do umlauts, and I'm not having people yell at me for not spelling the thing correctly. I'm not pulling a kiss. I'm not pulling a kiss.
Can we put April Wine Harder Faster on the?
If it'll
on the Proto.
If it'll shut you up.
It will, just because I mean like both.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I think it's pretty fair to say Voivod as the legend. I don't think there's a lot of argument there.
Corrupt Sage, I don't.
If anyone has a case against it, speak in the.
Well, it should be by like I feel like Legend should be first. Like, isn't that part of the Legend deal as well? Like what was released like first?
Yeah. So exactly. So it's like it's definitely got to be an early band. You can't have like the Legend is I mean like Devin Townsend is a perfect example of a guy who like could technically is in like a legendary zone, but if we're talking about essential Canadian metal albums as a whole and not doing like modern, there's so much history before him that like you gotta kind of. So we've got 3 Voivod albums in the poll in the chat. You can vote for what you think the Voivod Legend album should be. And if you don't agree, you can toss an argument in the chat, and I can read it out.
Just like the earliest one on that list is like 86 or 87, right?
Yeah, which is, pretty... I mean, the only thing you're really getting earlier than that is Exciter.
Exciter and Anvil doesn't fit for Legend, I don't think.
No.
Didn't have enough...
Didn't have enough... And also just like... there's also a Legend... part of the reason Voivod is so great as a Legend pick is that there's the consistency, the pedigree, whereas Anvil is a bit of a seismograph in terms of album quality. Getting your EKG signals for Anvil album quality. So having them as a Legend, I mean, I will say the An Angel Smoking an Anvil Bong is a pretty legendary album cover, but unfortunately, that wasn't one of their early albums. That was their second most recent.
Called, like, Legalize It or something?
No, it was called like Legal at Last.
Yeah,
Legal at Last.
Dude, I was like, using a urinal and somewhere in Europe somewhere, and I'm just like taking a leak, and I look up and there's this poster of an angel smoking a bong on an anvil, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I look at it, it's like anvil, legal at last. I'm like, oh my god, this checks out.
This
checks out.
That is so funny. That is so funny. I agree that Devin is more niche in his sound. I love the guy, but Voivod for sure.
Marina Telez. You got harder faster in there. You're a legend.
Yeah.
I think those are great Proto records.
Yeah. 16 votes for Dimension Hatros. Razor beat them to the punch and were pretty consistently great. Yeah, but Razor's like, again, Razor's one of those bands that's just way too, they're too underground, I feel like. The Legend, has to be there has to be a chance that someone's going to know the record.
It's not our favorite album. It's like the one that had the largest impact.
That's why an album we can respect and have affection for.
Dude, you know what? I wasn't even going to come in here and make a case for Maniac as the Legend, but since you said it, like if you're going to put 2 for Legend and it's going to be Hatros and Maniac, like that leaves more space for 5 other essential releases.
We're trying to cheating.
Well, no, but Deadpan said you decided that there can be 2 Legends.
Sometimes there's 2 legends.
Like,
I feel like
Maniac's more of a legendary album than Dimension Hatros in its impact on the scene overall, but as a Canadian legendary record, Dimension Hatros has its own merits for what it inspired. Like the entire tech Quebec brutal scene is inspired by that.
Yeah.
Versus more of the Euro black metal, thrash metal, satanic metal. All that's inspired by Exciter. Like Exciter and Venom, those were your biggest influences for a lot of those bands. It's hilarious when we tour Norway and I'm like meeting all these dudes from like Satyricon and Dimmu Borgir who are like, Exciter was my favorite band ever. And I'm like, the dudes in my band are like, dude, our music's so much softer than yours. How is that even possible?
Well, I mean, right? It's that stepping up where, whatever you listen to as a kid, you want to make something a little harder. So if you're listening to Exciter as a kid and you're making something harder than that, you got to go.
Bristol makes the point that I made earlier is an album that came out in 86 okay to be the Legend album when we're talking about albums that all came out in 82, 83, 84.
Yeah. What, 86? Yeah. How is 80? I don't know. 86,
Monster, what's up, buddy?
86, I can say, is 36 years ago because 86 is when I was born.
Hundo P, that's valid, so it's okay.
I think he mean I don't know. Are Hatros was 88?
Hatros was 88. Yeah, sorry. Killing Technology, Nothing Face, and Hatros are 86, 87, and 88, or 86, 88, and 89. They're later.
But I don't think that's that late. I mean, I think as long as we're still in the 80s.
War and Pain is 80. War and Pain is 84, I think. 84, right?
Legend has to be old enough to influence? I think 88 is still old.
It did influence. I'm just saying there's earlier influential albums.
There's earlier influential albums, and those can go in essential early. But acting, I don't know. It's hard for me to think of a band from the 80s in Canada that is as large and in charge as Voivod.
And is constant.
Constant, never ceasing. And the amount of people that are going to say, human beings in the wild that are going to say, Voivod is my favorite band. Whenever we talk about anything that even comes close to Voivod, I mean, I just feel like it's hard to think of any Canadian metal band from the 80s. I'm looking at the others, like Razor.
See, Arch Lennox just confirmed. I knew it. War and Pain's 84. Maniac's 83. Hatros is 88.
I don't know. It's the chat voted that Hatros of the early Voivod albums, and again, 88 isn't that late. And Voivod, tell me if you can tell me a more a bigger Canadian metal band to come out of the 80s. I'm willing to hear, but I'm getting a bunch of well, if you're super underground, this is a legendary album. The Legend in I mean, what? This isn't our first time doing this.
No one's really agreeing with. No one's really arguing with us.
Yeah.
Like, no one's arguing at all so far. They're like, yeah, it's a great record. Yeah, that's a great record.
If you're in the 80s, you're good enough. Eye on the TV, yeah. Graveyarding influence is more important, I feel, yeah. J Mage, to me, a legend would be ahead of Essential early, but before Essential modern.
Are we allowed to leave 2 legends? Because if we're going to leave 2 legends, we should leave them both.
I think especially for the topic, I think the 2 legends, like I said, really make sense.
They're so vastly different as well,
yeah.
which is important, I think.
Yeah, Exciter is because I mean, and this is the thing, right? It doesn't matter. Exciter is the early underground album that had a lot of impact, but that people might not know. And Voivod is the slightly later, much larger album that also had an undeniably massive impact. Like they both you could eliminate every single other Canadian metal band that's released an album before 1990, except for these 2, and the Canadian metal scene would not change much. Like if you went back in time and murdered everyone else releasing an album in the 80s in Canada, but Voivod and Exciter, we'd still shake out with a very similar metal landscape in Canada. But if you murdered either one of those bands,
it'd be a completely different world, not only in Canada, but internationally.
Internationally, right?
Okay. So we're going to do 5 in early and 5 in modern. Is that what we decided prior to? Okay.
Yes.
Do you want me to give you my 5 picks?
Not 5 at once. We gotta, you know, we.
Well, I'm sure you have 5 as well. Let's see if they overlap. Let's see if we're going to lock horns. Let's see what they're thinking.
I wonder where this falls.
Let's put one up first.
Yes.
Let's put one up first that no one's going to argue that it is going to be there.
What are we putting up?
Strapato. Slaughter, Strapato.
Yes.
Has to be. Jeff Waters disagrees. It has to be there.
What's the cutoff year for early? Whatever we're vibing, it'll make sense. Once we get into the 2000s,
80s and 90s, I think for early and 2000s on, or like late 90s and on. You'll know it's not so much even the year. It's like what's a modern album and what's an old school album. 100%.
Look. If there's a chance that they listened that they accidentally heard Limp Bizkit while they were making the album, it's probably modern. If there's a chance that they blissfully didn't know what Limp Bizkit was, it's probably Essential early.
Okay. Slaughter, Strapato.
Yes.
Does anyone disagree?
I don't think you're gonna have to disagree. I thought we were gonna. I guess there. For me, it's funny. I don't think there needs to be any disagreement. But for me, am I crazy? Because I get crazy. I'm crazy about a lot of these things where I go, this band's fucking. Is Sacrifice not bigger and better than Slaughter?
Well, Slaughter is way more underground at this point because For Determination was a fucking massive record. But I wouldn't say better. I think that that's probably in the top 3 best Canadian thrash albums of all time. Easily for that matter, in the top 3 Canadian thrash albums of all time.
So this isn't to decide whether it goes on or not, but I am curious about here. Let's see.
But my next pick is Sacrifice For Determination.
Yes.
That's easily the best record.
But I'm curious if the chat. What if they had to choose? If Sophie's choice, Sacrifice or Slaughter? I'm curious.
But one had a career and one had an album.
No, I know, but
that's like apples and oranges. One's a demo tape into a cult classic record, and one's like a band that had major label success.
But which one do you like better?
I don't know. I think that's just the easy first one to stick on because it's so. What about Martyr? I don't know. It's a little more modern.
I'm just curious.
Dan Mongrain getting represented twice on the board tonight.
Look, there's all these people trying to impress you. You've got everyone in there that tries to impress Dekay by saying they like Slaughter better.
Not that they like Slaughter better. Sacrifice is the better catalog for sure.
I'm not talking about full catalog or whatever. If you just
album,
feel really romantic about,
I'm really romantic about that one album. Yeah,
then you could vote for Slaughter. Look, it's not a runaway. It's not a total runaway for Sacrifice, anyways.
Strapato's an insanely good record. The demo is insane as well. Insane demo, insane record.
Yeah, so I'm not saying we can't have both. That's not what I'm saying.
We're going to have both because For Determination's got to be the next one you stick on.
Yes. Yeah.
Do we have a copy right here?
There's a copy somewhere here. Somewhere here, there's a Sam's original copy.
There it is.
Yeah. So what's hilarious about this is Sam's original copy.
Is it the fringe one? Yeah.
That you can see he was like
writing the lyrics.
He was like writing something on here, and it's like gone through. He was making a tapes side A.
Oh, that's amazing.
Suicidal tendencies. Faith no more. Like you can see Sam writing on the back of this the impressions from him having a piece of paper over it
Morbid Angel
and writing a mixtape.
Deicide.
It's very.
This is the old fringe copy, Diabolic Force fringe copy.
It's a very sweet.
Yeah, old school.
Very
pressing.
sweet Sam memory.
Old school pressing, love it. It's so good. It's always nice to see old records that were actually listened to, and not from certain people who have massive record collections that are old dudes in Toronto, and you go to their record collection and they're like untouched. Like dudes who just like worked at a radio station or worked at a magazine, and like Sam's are like all these records, like the corners are dinged, there's surface scratches, there's writing on the back. Like this was a record that got listened to a lot.
Yeah, this was around so much that it was just on a table when he was writing a mixtape over top of it. Historic artifacts.
It's true. We got Chuck Schuldiner played in Slaughter for a second too. It's true. Great point, Deadpan.
Deadpan with the point.
Okay, Sacrifice. I think the argument for Sacrifice needs to be, what album is it going to be? I say Forward to Termination.
Seems conclusive.
Is there an argument at all for Soldiers of Misfortune? I say no.
I feel like
Forward to Termination to me is the easy choice,
especially because if the album comes before as well, there's like a more weight to it coming before and having the same quality. You know what I mean? Like they're both very good albums, and so if you're deciding between two for an essential playlist, why not pick the first one that's going to have have more time to have the impact and everything.
Okay.
Poor Sacrifice, just a band that was sort of cursed. That really could have been, Sacrifice could be the band,
Still, and honestly, still could be. I was talking to Rob Urbanati today. I was telling him we were doing this, and we just played with them. We just played with Sacrifice fucking in May, and dude, they're still one of the best live bands. Torment and Fire has an amazing rough vibe to it, but it's really amateur compared to what their songs would become on Forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind
great
of great
raw vibe, and I know that's what you like, and I know it's exciting to talk about a band's earliest release and proto roots, but bro, they mastered that.
I didn't even load the album cover because I was like, look, just because I love Torment and Fire. Part of the reason I love it is it's rough, but if you're trying to, I like the way it sounds, but I know it has a very the side A is a little weak on the album. It's definitely them trying stuff out, and you can see that this is the crystallization of the ideas. It's just Torment and Fire is just the first one I heard, so it's got a warmer place. And me, I like a little rough around edges. But I would never argue that it should be over because,
Okay, so funny, no one seems to have a single argument against us picking Forward to Termination, really.
Yes.
Here's a band that everyone's going to argue over which album it's going to be. Razor,
yeah.
And here's my hot take of the day. Why is it Armed and Dangerous, the EP?
Well, we can't have EPs. It opens ourselves up to a floodgate.
But you know what I'm saying? It's dude, there's literally, I could make a case for 5 different Razor records on this list. I'm dying to know what you guys think. Yeah. Is it Executioners? Is it Armed and Dangerous? Is it Restitution? Is it Invaders? What is it?
So I always like to make bets, and then if I'm wrong, my punishment is I have to download an album cover. So my bet was on Violent Restitution.
It's so late. Restitution's the final album with Banshee. I'm going to make a rule here. No non-Banshee albums allowed on the list.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean...
for me, it's Invaders or Executioners. Gotta be. It's not Escape the Fire, Deadpan, but nice try. Wow, everyone's going Restitution. That's wild. That is such a fan favorite.
Should we put it to a poll?
I think you should put them all and let them pull it out. Because I would say Executioners as well, man. Like, or Invaders, dude. I don't know. Or Restitution. They're all fucking amazing.
I'm not putting Armed and Dangerous.
We should do a Razor episode, a Razor album ranking episode.
Yeah. Executioner, Invaders, and...
Shotgun Justice is the first non-Banshee record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not allowed.
Yes. Lineup. Yeah. So... 3, Executioner, Invaders, Restitution, right?
Yeah. I think those are your ones, man.
Okay, so poll in the chat: Executioner song, Evil Invaders, Violent Restitution. Who you got? Make your vote. We're all allowed to vote.
I want to watch it live. What's going on here?
We're watching it live. There we go.
Let's get everyone voting. Guys, the vote is in the top right side, top of your chat box. Top of the chat box. Everybody, anyone who's lurking.
Top of the chat box.
Everyone who's lurking, you've only got about a minute and a half or less to cast your vote. Everyone who's lurking, get involved now, or you can't argue with us. This is not up to me and Blaine. This is up to you. This is you, the chat, the live chat.
Whatever you pick is what goes in there.
Whatever you pick is going on the board.
And it's locked, baby.
Restitution can't win just because it has the coolest album cover.
It does have the coolest album cover, though.
It can't win just because of the album cover.
It has the album cover has, the cool thing about that album cover, it almost has like an Exciter vibe to that album cover. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of like, it's really cool. Really nice.
Take This Torch might be the best album opener in history. And that's why I polled for Executioner. But Executioner's song is literally losing.
Yeah. Armed and Dangerous does have, I love how perfectly shitty that album cover is. Just guitar, razor, black, white.
Yo, the Armed and Dangerous is an unbelievable album cover as well.
Yeah.
Armed and Dangerous EP is a favorite for me for Razor, but poll isn't showing up. Try refreshing.
Bristol UK Thrash, you've got like 20 seconds.
It's going to be Restitution at this rate, unless someone throws down huge in the vote right now. Throw down an Executioner song vote for me, quick.
All right, fine.
Yes. Okay.
There we go.
Votes are in.
There you go. Violent Restitution with 20 votes, Evil Invaders with 11, and Executioner's song with 7
Can we
votes.
put Violent Restitution as an essential modern and essential early as Executioner's song? Violent Restitution has to be like late.
So I made my bet. This one I nailed. This one I nailed. This bet I nailed.
I like how I'm talking about 88 as if it's late. I'm born in the wrong era. 88. God damn, I'm decent with years.
88.
Glad to be one of the 7 smart people. Thank you. Pain and also Piss. I'm one of them as well.
Hey, you're supposed to be sucking up to me, not him, Pain X Piss. That's rude.
Pain and also just misses me. 88 was a great year.
88 was a great year.
Marina Telez, who were you chasing down the Sunset Strip in 88? She's got like pictures of her chasing like Axl Rose, and she's like literally like 15 years old. It's unbelievable.
It has been a month without
Janie Lane. Good one.
Your first show was Bonded by Blood in 85? Damn, Arch Linux Penguin. That's crazy.
What, Bonded, like Exodus, Bonded by Blood era? That'd be cool. Bailoff, dude.
Okay.
So we got Violent up there. Restitution's on the board.
So we've already, the chat, we've kind of been steering this ship. The chat needs to make a pick, and I feel like the chat already kind of made a pick earlier with something we didn't talk about yet.
Annihilator?
An inhaler. An inhaler.
An inhaler.
My asthma. Yeah. So Annihilator. I thought this would be a contentious one, so I went ahead and loaded 2 album covers.
Yeah, well, there is an argument for 2 different albums, and I know what the correct answer is, so we'll see what they say.
Okay.
I was hanging out with Fabio in Italy the other day, literally like 4 days ago or something, the drummer of Annihilator, and he was telling me the Annihilator thing, because that's the big joke, is like in Europe, because of the accents, it sounds like they're chanting Annihilator. On the final night of the Euro tour with Exodus, them and their crew spent 4 hours modifying the Annihilator backdrop so it said Annihilator when they hung it up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like they punked, like that was their like end of tour joke on Annihilator.
They should have done like a one-off run shirt just for that show.
King of the Kill is their best. Ay caramba, that's a lukewarm take. Jeff on vocals on that record. I thought you meant Fabio. No. Fabio Alessandro, the drummer, Alessandrini or whatever his name is, the drummer in Annihilator.
So I loaded two. Do
It's Alice in Hell, and we're gonna lock it in. Pain and Piss, you need to listen to more Annihilator.
So Never Neverland.
It's Never Neverland.
Is
by far their best.
Never Neverland seems like the correct choice. Alice in Hell seems like the popular choice.
Alice in Hell is the it's their first record choice, and Never Neverland's the I've actually listened to their music choice.
Oh, they start so slow. It's such a Alice in Hell really doesn't grab me off the top. You know what I mean?
Alice in Hell.
But the chat, we do give a lot of power to you because we appreciate you. We thank you for coming by.
If you put it to a poll, Alice in Hell's gonna win because people haven't listened to enough.
No, but they haven't seen you in a month, and they really want you to think that they're cool.
I don't care much for Annihilator. I know I don't love Annihilator that much either, but because
sometimes
of the time they have like they've got like 2 or 3 records that really resonate with me out of the fucking like 20 albums they've released. And if we're saying essential, then it's Alice. Dude, how is Alice in Hell more essential than Never Neverland? Never Neverland's got way more tunes on it, way better songwriting. Yeah, Never Neverland is my pick, but we'll leave it to you guys.
We'll leave it to you. It's totally.
They're gonna say Alice in Hell.
Whatever you pick is totally up to you. You're allowed to pick whatever you want, and you're the decider here because
Never Neverland is great, but more people know Alice. That's not a good argument. Something being more popular or more mainstream doesn't make it better. I'm telling you, Never Neverland. Everyone who's unfamiliar with the record, go crank it again. It's
Poll in the chat. You can pick Alice in Hell or Never Neverland.
You guys are making a mistake.
You can vote. Whatever you vote, we're gonna respect it, and we're gonna put.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Don't worry.
Dude, I'm looking at these track listings just to make sure I'm not insane. This is clearly the better album. Unreal.
Did you see?
What?
We're doing well.
Blaine's right. Yeah. Fun Palace, 6s and 7s, Stonewall, the title track, and Paradise Craft Dinner. I love Phantasmagoria. This is by far the better record.
I told you. Look, 14 to 21.
It's by far the better record.
This is an exciting race. This is the one everyone's getting the most into so far as well.
This is.
And it's close, and it's still close. I mean,
listen,
I'm not saying answer is still
I'm not saying Alice in Hell is a bad record. I think like Welcome to Your Death, the beautiful composition of Crystal Ann, obviously the title track, Word Salad, Human Insecticide. These are like great songs and really established Jeff as a bit of like a proto guitar god in our country, but like. Yeah, dude, Never Neverland's got way more tunes on it.
Shocker, I like the album that doesn't have an intro track. Have I made it clear how I feel about intro tracks before on the BangerTV?
Nightmare. Welcome to the Fun Palace.
Bunch of Dekay kiss asses.
Damn right.
Look at this. The vote's almost done. Never Neverland 24 to Alice in Hell's 16. We got a bunch of cool. Look out. Cool people coming through.
Why? Cool and you put wrong right in it. That's hilarious. I didn't even see that. Yeah, you're friggin' hilarious.
We got some cool. We got some cool people. Cool people in the house. We got some cool people.
Yeah, Never Neverland's a way better record. Great job, guys. JPM, great use of that emote.
We did it. Now, okay. So this is gonna probably have to go to a yes or no in the chat because I would say this is an essential early album because, I mean, you know, we're talking about genre creation, we're talking about impact.
I'm gonna guess what you're gonna pick.
What am I gonna pick?
Fallen Angel of Doom.
Hey.
How did I know that Blaine needed to get Blasphemy on this list?
All right. Look. I don't know if enough people would agree that Blasphemy. Oh man,
Kick-Axe Vices should be on this list 100%. I know.
Okay.
Mal Havoc should be on this list. Slick Toxic should be on this list. Infernal Majesty should be on this list.
Okay. But right now,
Metal on Metal deserves to be on the list too in some weird twisted way.
Right now.
Hey, Andrew Suarez! One of my favorite drummers with the Raiden Command!
Bum.
Incoming!
And Lupa Bar Sanang. So, Blasphemy. I mean, you want to talk about influential, you want to talk about creating genres, you want to talk about, you know, long-lasting impact. You have one of the most unlistenable styles of music ever created. Just nonsense. Just something that you would go, that will never work. Number one. You've got it coming from the least brutal place in Canada, British Columbia. Just a gorgeous vista of clean air, mountain tops that are an hour drive outside the city, and a beautiful, pristine ocean to just lap up as you make the most basement, aggressive punishment music.
100%. War metal gods, genre creators, by far one of our most early extreme bands, hands down, no argument. And I wasn't going to argue hard on this because you didn't fight me too hard on my picks, which I think were all fucking fantastic, by the way. But I knew you were going to want this on the list.
Yes.
So I'm not going to argue it if you put it in essential early, but may I make a suggestion that Fallen Angel falls under the rest? Because I think it deserves to be on the tier list, but if we're talking essential early Canadian metal records, I think that there's like still 2 or 3 other albums that would come before this. If we were doing a top 10, Hundo P. But like, I don't know if it falls under straight up essential, or, I mean, you know, but I'm not going to fight you on it because I know this is a band that you're fucking adore. And I love too.
So
Blasphemy of the shit.
But but this is one of those bands where frequently I'm the one coming into this show with stuff that is obnoxious to try and push for. So I'm gonna leave it up to the chat. We're leaving it up to the chat. We're leaving it up to you. Blasphemy. You got Let's Go, or you got who? Look, if you don't know who they are, if you don't think they belong on the list, I can fully understand that, and I'm already emotionally prepared for this.
It's fucking cult as fuck, man.
It's very underground, very aggressive. But
Suarez, how you doing, buddy? Hope you had an awesome stream. Sorry about your apartment. I saw your post on the internet. That was pretty intense.
So when does modern start in your youngster eyes? When you get to the 2000s, it's one of those things. It's like
late 90s, 2000s.
It's like
it's less about the year. We just said this. Yeah. It's less about the year, and it's more about what's the modern album and what's the old school album.
Yeah, it's it's hard to define, but you know it when you see it.
Like Devin Townsend clearly falls under, modern. Like Strapping Young Lad clearly falls under modern. Regardless of if it's the record that came out last year or a record that came out in 1999. It doesn't matter. Put Anvil on there immediately. I know. I think Metal on Metal should, as much as I have my own opinions on that band and those people.
Damn, this is a crazy vote. 11-11 for Blasphemy for Let's Go and Who. That's crazy. Dead heat.
Never met a scarier looking skinhead band that also had a black dude in it. Like literally, it's wild. Talk about confusing signals. Red laces and also a black dude. Let's go. Really confusing. Yeah. Really.
Yeah,
troubling and confusing.
War metal is definitely a
JPM. Don't worry,
minefield.
We haven't rested till I make my case for Dirty Weapons.
15-14 for Blasphemy. Another. This is so close. One vote. 1 vote above. 2 votes. 2 votes above. 2 votes above. Oh, shoot. Now we're down to 17 to 15, 18 to 15. Coming out of the wire. Going once. Going twice.
Lovely.
19 to 15.
Pain and Piss voted many times to make that happen.
Hey, we got
Pain and Piss, you're the only reason that happened.
Nay, he voted 3. He voted 3 extra times. So technically, they still would have done it. It would have been much closer, but they still would have done it. So yeah, here's my thing about Anvil. We're not talking. If you were talking about if this was essential Canadian bands, I might agree. You might be. I would say probably Blasphemy. It would be a harder thing for me to argue over something like Anvil. What one Anvil record is that good?
Metal on Metal.
Oh, that's
easily. Metal on Metal is the only one I would ever. I would never argue them for essential band. I would only argue for Metal on Metal, the record. That's all I would. I correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I think it might even be 83. Like, I think it predates Maniac. I think it's 83. It's like double bass. It's hella Proto. Yeah, Metal on Metal is the only one that I would ever argue for with Anvil.
Maybe we could toss. You know what? Maybe Metal on Metal. I mean, maybe that's Proto. Maybe that's a Proto record.
But the rest of the Protos are so classic rock that it feels weird to put like an actual like metal album in there. You know?
Yeah, but
it's 82. It's even before 83. It's 82.
But it's so okay.
The record's really good. That record is really good. The band is so okay, but that's a really good album.
How influential was it? Yeah, it's hard to know.
I'd say Cryptopsy in this by looking at the rest of the bands on the list in early, Cryptopsy follows under modern.
Yeah,
and don't worry, we're not leaving till None So Vile is on the fucking list.
Yeah,
don't worry.
That's again genre creating, but I feel like the instant the word technical starts to creep in is when we're starting to feel very modern. There's so many things that make the album cover, the logo, everything really comes together to make that a modern seeming record.
Okay. Since we are now at our quota of 5 essential early, can we do the rest of early? Can we put the other early albums that we didn't get to do? Let's chuck them in the rest.
Yeah.
I'd love to see, and I'll just throw out a bunch of the chat. You guys can talk with them. Let's get some chat participation going here. Would love to see Kick-Axe Vices on there. Would love to see Killer Dwarf's Dirty Weapons on there. Would love to see Anvil Metal on Metal on there. Would love to see Infernal Majesty None Shall Defy on there. Would love to see the Malhavoc release on there. It's fucking just got reissued in Canada as well. It's a fucking legendary record. Slick Toxic doing the nasty. These are all like pretty like important early Canadian metal records, kind of paved the way for us.
What about Considered Dead by Goreguts? I think when we're talking about Goreguts, we're also talking about, we're getting a little more modern there.
I'm voting for Goreguts of Honor Modern, and I have a very important pick for Goreguts.
I feel like kind of like, especially if we're talking about just Canadian metal in general, the modern and the late kind of skew. If we're talking about like, if you're talking about something like death metal, obviously that's, Goreguts is going to fall under essential early. But if you're talking about Canadian metal, we're going back to like, we're going back to Exciter Records and stuff then. When you, just the creation of death metal alone, you're starting to feel pretty modern. And then once death metal gets, once death metal gets extracted upon, then you're feeling like, okay, this is the kind of more modern metal landscape.
Yeah, exactly. Once we get into extreme metal and death and black and grind, etc., and we're definitely in modern. So again, modern doesn't have to, we're not doing like a year cutoff. It's like modern music and early music. Yeah. It's a very clear difference.
Yeah, and I know you're thinking, man, Blasphemy.
What's going on?
Blasphemy is really extreme, isn't that kind of fall? But that's the crazy thing about Blasphemy. Blasphemy is that extreme, and the record came out in 1990 in BC, British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah, Bristol agreed. You know what's crazy is I saw more Infernal Majesty shirts in Europe on this run than I've ever seen in Canada combined. People don't listen to that band here at all. It's like very legendary in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, it's always weird when you go somewhere.
This record's so good.
It's always weird when you go somewhere and, there's just something that hit there that didn't hit here,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like your friend. I mean, Danko Jones. It's hilarious. Like Danko Jones is a Hellfest Wacken headliner. And
More than that,
like, what?
I text him all the time and laugh. I'm like, dude, every time I land at an airport in Germany and get picked up by a shuttle, your band is playing on the radio. We get into the fucking van and the radio turns on and it's Danko Jones. Meanwhile, he plays clubs here in Canada. It's very, very, modest. Thank you. That's exactly the word. Modest sized crowds here in clubs and theaters. And he plays fucking stadiums and headline main stage at Wacken in goddamn Europe. It's wild.
No respect for the rock and roll in Canada.
Yeah, Danko's one of the few dudes who can go and do like a 3-week German or 3-week Scandinavian only tour. It's wild. I talked to him today, actually. He reached out. A bunch of his guitars and their bassist bass and all his pedals are all missing. Somewhere in Europe, in Paris, they believe.
Yikes.
Everyone's got missing luggage stories right now.
No bueno. Brutal. That is no bueno.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah. So I think Metal on Metal and Dirty Weapons in the rest, for sure.
Just to give my knowledge, give them that.
I appreciate you.
Hat.
Thank
you.
Kick-Axe Vices, do you have that one?
I don't.
That's a really good one, too.
I don't even know that.
Oh, dude, you'd love it.
I've never.
Look how bad this album cover is. Maybe that's why it never got popular.
Oh wow, that's bad.
Yeah, this album's legendary, dude.
I've never listened to them. It sounds familiar, but yeah, never gave it a listen.
It's one of those ones that could have been a lot bigger than it is.
That is an atrociously bad album cover.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, but it is fucking awful. Like, it would be one thing if it was just what everything it was, but the addition of the eyeballs and the button-up shirt is really peculiar. It really makes you go, what is the story of this album cover? Because vices, you make sense. It's a nice gag. There's a vice in a vice. But why is the vice like a fun Jim Henson character? Very strange choice. Very strange choice on the album cover.
The release by Mal Havoc is pretty. That's more of a Blaine record, to be honest. I figure that would be like way more up your alley than mine. I'm putting like Kick-Axe and Slick Toxic and Killer Dwarfs. Like I'm putting my like glammy, more like hard rock, heavy metal shit on there. And I figured like a Mal Havoc record would totally be up your alley.
But look, we should be considered. We can consider this a pretty quality list. You know, we have our.
Did we get metal? Yeah, I think that's great so far.
I got a great list. I think that's a great list.
Metal School I'm just making sure all my old school ones are on there. We got Slaughter, KD, Sacrifice, Voivod, Exciter, Annihilator, Razor, Blasphemy, Anvil. Oh, Infernal Majesty, None Shall Defy should go on the others.
Look, we gotta get to modern. Look, we're shouting them out.
Not to exclude anyone, man.
I know, but that's what the list is. The list is excluding.
The list is excluding. It's not an inclusive list, guys. This is an exclusive list.
You gotta get let in, you know.
BangerTV's exclusive essential.
It ain't the VIP room if everybody in the VIP room. You know what I mean? Stay on target. So. We now get to, so we've got a great base of kind of more genre creators, of your earlies, of your DK wasn't borns yet, and now we start to get into the more modern period where the bands that the folks out there that were listening to these bands are then starting to make bands. Babies be making babies.
Yes, sir.
Chat. How we've mentioned. So there's been a couple of mentions of some pretty extreme metals.
Well, I think that's the funniest thing about Canada is that like the early section we just dealt with, if you think about it, is like very heavy and thrash. Like that's what we did well in the 80s before Metallica was coming up with their idea for Kill 'Em All and their No Life to Leather demo. They were listening to Canadian bands coming up with the thrash thing. Like we were killer on speed and thrash in the beginning. And then in the 90s, oh boy, did we fucking figure out extreme death metal. Oh boy, did the fucking French part of Canada figure out how to do extreme death metal. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is, so last week I did essential new wave of traditional heavy metal with Sarah, and that list was just California, Sweden, and Canada.
Yeah, we have.
There's only two things we make. We either make very traditional metal or I'm crazy. F you.
And French. And French. Fuck the facts. Goreguts. Cryptopsy. Cataclysm. Yeah. Devin Townsend. Holy fuck. It's extreme as fuck.
Yeah. So.
You know what's interesting is how many times 3 Inches of Blood has been mentioned in this, and I wasn't sure if anyone was going to mention 3 Inches of Blood. I think it's crazy how many times it's come up.
3 Inches of Blood were also mentioned a bunch in the traditional heavy metal episode, which we.
You know what? If more people liked that band while they were around, they would still be around.
Yeah.
I used to go to their shows and be like fucking 12 people there, man.
Yeah. But I mean, great band. It's nice that they're a band that really. And Azza, thanks for the sub. Cheers.
Azza, wow, first ever. Azza, how you doing? Great to see you.
I think the thing with them is they're one of those bands that, you make fun of it all you want, but how great were goddamn guitar video games for metal?
For a certain age group, 100%. Got a whole, for example, we had Chris from Thrash TV on for the Slayer episode, and Sam Dunn asked Ted from Death Angel how he got into Slayer, and it's like, well, I was at the fucking Show No Mercy album release show, and like has an incredible story. Then he turns to Chris and says, so how did you get into Slayer? He's like, well, I heard Raining Blood on Guitar Hero. Right? And it's like literally case in point, it birthed an entire new era of metalheads.
Yeah. Code Blue found out about 3 Inches of Blood from Saints Row 2, which is a video game.
Is that a video game?
Yeah. It's like an even crazier Grand Theft Auto.
Brutal Legend, there's another one.
Brutal Legend, Guitar Hero, and Saints Row. Just really, I mean,
Eye on the TV, thank you for those 100 biddies.
And of a band that's going to get you to listen, that only has one song. You know what I mean? If you're like, there's certain bands where you're like, oh, well, you got to listen to this album. If there's a band that's going to get you interested in the band with just one song, 3 Inches of Blood is a great band to do that.
Yeah. For me, honestly, I'll be honest. When Fire Up the Blades came out, I didn't love it that much. That was the big album for me, like when I was really listening to like Roadrunner bands and shit. I think that album was on Roadrunner. And but then I heard, you know what it was for me? I heard one 3 Inches of Blood song that resonated with me, and that's when I fell in love with the whole catalog.
Yeah, right.
I still remember hearing Rock in Hell for the first time, and I was like, holy fuck, this is 3 Inches of Blood. And I was like, yeah I was in, man.
The harsh vocals ruined them for you think? Cam Pipes is cool though, says Passionate Introvert. Shar, Guitar Hero gave Dragon Force everything. I mean, right? Again, Dragon Force, another band where it's like
Fireflame.
All you really need is one song to really, if that's gonna hit with you, all it takes is one song. That's not something that need to grow.
Wild, how many people are into
Assimilator? 3 Inches of Blood was great. Yeah,
should we get 3 Inches of Blood just out of the way and put it on your Essential Modern?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like.
What's the pick? I'm here. I have a weird one. I know it's not.
Here.
I know that Advance and Vanquish will probably be everyone's pick, or Fire Up the Blades is the darker record, but like, bro, Here Waits Thy Doom is a pretty fucking good record.
And I mean, here, let's do. Throw
them all up there, see what they like.
Yeah, I guess we can throw them all up there, right?
We got Fire Up the Blades, Here Waits Thy Doom, Advance and Vanquish. Those are the only three I know, I think.
Yeah, Long Live Heavy Metal, but that's too much. That's I mean.
Battle Cry. Yes.
Yeah, Battle Cry probably not so much.
Advance and Vanquish
being, Advance and Vanquish is the one I assume, I mean, Deadly Sinners is a perfect song. I think
Deadly Sinners
is really a perfect song. So fun.
Is this a Roadrunner? I knew it was a Roadrunner album. Fire Up is a Roadrunner. Knew it.
Man, who was it? Roadrunner, or was it? Let me. You know what? I got a very weird where I was like, what, really? So Earache. I was like, oh, I need this promo from Earache, And I'm like, searching my inbox. I'm like, oh, I don't have promo from Earache. That's weird. Craig, hey, Craig, can you shoot me this Earache promo? He's like, oh, I don't have it either. And I look and I go like, why have I never had contact with the Earache promo department or the PR person that handles that? So I go on Earache's website and I like find the person to email and I email them and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I should ask for any other promos. And I look through Earache's catalog and they have like one metal band.
Yeah, well, they stopped.
It's very strange.
Yeah, for a guy like Digby Pearson, like literally founded grindcore. Like he is the guy who popularized it in the UK and gave money to all these bands to make these albums. For a guy like who was championed extreme metal so hard, like he literally all he does now is sign Blueberry Smoke or Blackberry Smoke and like
very weird.
Yeah, like rock bands and
very
stuff.
Weird.
Yeah, and they won't repress any metal stuff. So Cauldron was signed to them. Cauldron's been begging for years to get Chain to the Night reprinted, and like they just did their OG pressings of 500 and 1,000. They're like, no, we have no interest in doing anymore.
Very strange.
It's weird how it started as a grindcore label and turned into a heavy metal label, and now it's into a rock and roll label.
And then peculiarly though, the promo I was getting from them is grindcore and is very good. They have like one grindcore band, Wormrot.
Wormrot. That band's cool.
It's very weird. So we've got a 3 Inches of Blood poll going. Advance and Vanquish, Fire Up the Blades, or Here Waits Thy Doom. It seems like your mind is already made up.
Yeah, like Here Waits Thy Doom is my favorite, but I know it's not the most popular.
Yeah.
I think Advance and Vanquish is by far their most popular.
Yes. I mean, that's like I said, that's probably got the songs that people heard that got them into the band. But nothing bad to say about Earache. The promo department, the person I got in contact with was very nice. They sent me the album. Everything's great.
I feel like Earache's in my inbox. So I did something for one of their bands once. You know the way it works with PR. You do one thing with one of their bands once, and you're on every fucking email list they've ever had.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about Earache. I was just surprised by their catalog. I was like, really? They don't really have any. Wormrot's like the only metal band on here.
All right, it looks like Advance and Vanquish is making our list.
Yes, 14.
It's a great record.
14 for Advance and Vanquish.
Anyone who's never listened to this band, I urge you to check out.
Yeah.
Obviously Advance and Vanquish is the popular pick here. I think Here Waits Thy Doom is front to back and back to front a fucking killer record, though. I would highly recommending that one.
And I will say the Long Live Heavy Metal. They did
Long Live Heavy Metal.
They did go out. They did go out very, very.
Dude,
strongly.
they have all the records are great. They got like 5 albums or something.
Yeah.
They're all amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, Vladis, all their albums are great. Great band. Cam came to our show in Vancouver. It was cool to see.
Only judging off artwork, you've never heard them Pain X-Biz? Yeah, really cool. Just
play them on stream.
No. This will get uploaded to YouTube.
No, I mean your stream.
Oh, my stream. Yeah.
For Pain.
I've played them before, Pain X-Biz. Basically, it's just a really cool. It's a great combination of like traditional heavy metal and extreme metal, especially in the vocals. You've got harsh vocals and beautifully sung vocals, and there's this fun thing where the harsh vocals are done by a tiny boy and the high-pitched squealy vocals are done by a very large man. Yeah. So it's a fun little.
It's a fun
visually.
Contrast,
it's fun. Visually, it's fun as well.
So we'll put that up there.
Ba-boom, ba-da-ba-boom,
ba-ba-da-boom, ba-ba-da-bing.
Yeah.
The best Halford vocals, not in Priest. That or Phil Anselmo on Shattered. But yes, I agree. The high C
really hits it. And sustains.
Can I make this next pick all about me? And just before we get into like the splitting hairs, I need to get one on here that I will walk out if it's not on here.
Yes.
My most number one essential modern Canadian record. My number one.
Yes.
That has to be on here. Goathorn, Storming the Gates. Don't put a Cauldron record on. Put a Goathorn record on.
This is fun. You know what's funny? I just had Sarah on for New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal, and she pretty much said the exact same thing.
Yeah, don't put a Cauldron record on. Put on their original band, Goathorn. It's way better.
But nobody knows Goathorn.
I mean, that record just got reissued in a huge box set by Dissonance, so everyone's about to know them. 20 years after it came out, everyone's about to know them. No, they were huge, dude. They were, in their time, had they not broken up, they would have been what Cauldron became. It's literally the...
They would have been, if they hadn't broken up.
It is Cauldron. It's the whole first Cauldron record is all what would have been the next Goathorn record.
They didn't break up. They would have been the band that they broke up and
became. Yeah. They literally, it's like they ditched a guitar player and got a new guitar player. They stayed the same format. It's a 3-piece. It's the same. It's got the Cathedral Doom influences. Yeah. Way stronger in the Doom. Also, their first album, Voyage to Nowhere, is like straight Doom.
Yeah.
Straight drone, straight Doom. But Storming the Gates is the perfect blend of doom and traditional heavy metal and aggressive, harsh vocals and also high pitches like Halford highs and like really low, gruff, like greasy sounding gravel vocals. I don't know, man. It's a perfect album. Storming the Gates, Goat Horn, the best.
All right.
The best. That's my number one.
That's DK demanding something.
I was not leaving without that on the list.
I have some hidden gems for you that I'm not going to unreasonably jam into the list, but we'll discuss discourse with you. But we've been dominating this for a little while, so the chat. We've had our time. You, the chat, what do you want to see on there? What do you want to see on there? Chris Bazaar, Cauldron's cover of Witchfinder General's Free Country is one of my favorite covers ever.
I was on the tour with them when they started doing that live right before they went in and recorded it. I was 18 years old. I went on tour with Cauldron as a roadie merch guy. I turned 19 on the road with them, and we did a East Coast tour in the middle of winter through the snow, and they were doing that as the encore every night. And when they got back from that tour is when they recorded that as the bonus track.
Thanafaxath is great, but that's getting real underground. You know what? Last time I saw Ian was at that Otratom show, and I asked him a question that I've been meaning to ask forever, and he told me, but then I got too drunk and forgot the answer.
What'd you ask him?
I asked him why Burning Fortune is not on Burning Fortune.
Because it was written after. It was written after Burning Fortune came out. Ian actually wrote that whole song. That's an Ian song.
Yeah, that's why I'm
a fanboy for that band. I worked with them. I shared a jam space with them. I shared a drummer with them.
I didn't know he wrote that song. I think I told him that's my favorite Cauldron song. I love that song.
I love that
song.
That
might be my favorite Cauldron song.
I'm pretty sure that's an entirely Ian song. I think like every riff, every melody, that's a whole Ian song.
Well, maybe I gave him a very good compliment.
Thank you for your contributions. You were awesome.
Thanks for coming out. Cryptopsy, Goreguts, Cryptopsy,
Devi,
Cryptopsy,
Cataclysm, Woods of Ypres,
Metal and Weed. There you go. Cryptopsy,
and Goreguts, and I think Cataclysm, and either SYL or Devi or Woods of Yeep and Arcaspire and Beyond Creation.
Okay, don't get too excited. And
Cryptopsy all have to be
Cryptopsy is a very good. This album is so like. I have a friend who has her phone background is like a similar looking Victorian painting, and I honestly, every time she pulls out her phone, the amount of times I've been like, "Are you a Cryptopsy fan?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Because I'm like, painting? "Oh right, your phone background is not this is so burnt. This album's so burned into my mind that that I don't think you could make a Canadian metal list without it. I mean, definitely genre founding type stuff. And like the cool thing about it is that even if you don't, it's one of those classic examples of like, it's like at the gates type thing. Like even if you don't like what this band created by making this record's still hype. This is still a great record. Inky, none so vile without question. Arch Linux Penguin agreed. Really hard to argue with anything. I don't know. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say no? How are you gonna say no to that?
Yeah, I know.
Just 96. Crazy, technical, amazing.
What? None so vile. That's the pick.
There's no
for me. That's the Cryptopsy pick. Easy.
Yeah. There's no real. I mean, just like I said, an album pretty much burned in all our brains. Was definitely one of the first. When the stream's starting up and we're waiting, Cryptopsy starts bubbling to the surface.
Cryptopsy's the easy pick. I think the hard pick is Goreguts album. I think that's way more conducive to an argument is what the Goreguts record's going to be. Because I know I have a pick, but I think everyone will tell me that I'm being like elitist or it's a hot take or like I'm wrong. But I do have a pick. It's later in the catalog, but it's certainly, to me, the perfect blend. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like picking Heartwork as your favorite Carcass record. It's like the record that just, like, in my opinion, put them on the map and made them incredibly approachable to an even wider audience while still retaining their edge and still retaining their weirdness and progginess and heaviness. My pick for Goreguts, Obscura is going to be everyone's pick is what I predicted. Obviously, after my intro, you all know that I'm gonna pick Wisdom to Hate.
Oh, damn! I'm way off. I only loaded one album cover for Goreguts.
Obscura is the one that everyone's gonna pick.
I loaded Erosion of Sanity. Well, we've got. This seems like a time for
a Goreguts pull for sure. I knew this would be. This is the hardest one, I think, in my opinion, to pick an album for the modern ones.
Goreguts in brackets, very hard.
V hard.
So you have your choice between Erosion of Sanity. I mean, I'm not going to bother putting Considered Dead because Erosion of Sanity is just better. And if you pick Considered Dead, you're considered wrong. Obscura and From Wisdom to Hate. Dun dun dun, and let's fire up. Oh,
Harf. Are you not gonna add a fourth? Sands? No. Not adding a fourth.
One's picking fucking Colored Sands.
Fine.
Yeah.
I won't argue with you. You didn't argue with my goat horn.
Goreguts album choice says more about you and less about Goreguts.
It's kind of one of those
Corrupt
bands.
Sage.
It's kind of one of those bands that has various sounds that you can pick from. Dude, the From Wisdom to Hate, and I have a backstory as to how I even got into that album. Legendary Canadian metal reissue album, War on Music. Shout out Charlie, who I'm pretty sure has actually disappeared. Hope you're still alive. I asked a bunch of people in Winnipeg. No one knows where you are. Charlie, if you're watching this, make contact. Smoke signal. Morse code, something. Let me know you're okay. War on Music Records. Got the license to reissue tons of legendary records. And I did a tour with him in a band he was representing called Prophet like 12 years ago. And at the end of the tour, he was like, you like a lot of like traditional heavy metal and you like a lot of old school death metal. I want you to listen to this record. It's approachable, technical, grindcore. And I'm like, none of those words make sense to me. He's like, and it's also like spacey and psychedelic. I'm like, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, dude. I'll listen to it. And it was From Wisdom to Hate. And it's fucking great record, dude. But Obscura is their most popular record. I think we all know that.
I had to do a little quick audible because I just put Erosion of Sanity in there. So what? Okay. So what have we got? What are we saying? Chris Bazaar can't go wrong with any of their albums. Honestly, even Colored Sands is highly influential. Sean Terrio, I'd go Obscura or Colored Sands. There isn't really a bad choice. Inky, Obscura might be way too crazy to be essential. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it is a very...
that's why I want Wisdom. It's like, it's hella approachable. It's like you could play it for a metal fan that just likes metal. Doesn't need to be someone who likes extreme metal.
Godzilla's nobody's picking Colored Sands. So many people are saying Colored Sands. Well, they're wrong. Easy Bake Coven Obscura is my true pick, but I know everybody picking it, so I threw a vote for Wisdom because I love it. Princess Scarlet, Obscura is where Goreguts fell off. Fuck that album, damn. There's a Goreguts record for everybody over
Bands. It is one of those bands.
Hard City would have picked Colored Sands. What about that one punk band that Overkill covered with?
We don't care what you say. Fuck you.
What about that one punk band that Overkill covered?
Talking about that song. We don't care what you say. Fuck you.
Are you talking about Propaganda?
No.
Oh, Overkill covered. Sorry.
Overkill, the band, has an EP called "Fuck You" with that.
No,
song.
I know, but I thought I was like
Overkill review.
Overkill reviews, because in my mind I always picture Overkill, the band as their name spelled over space kill, because that's how they did their stupid. That's how they did their logo.
That's how the logo looks. Yeah, you're right. That's how the
There's
logo
a
looks.
space in the logo.
There is a space. There is something that resembles a space in the logo.
There's a massive space between over and.
There's a lack of character between the R and the K.
Drives
I'm not
me
saying it's a space.
absolutely mental. So this list is getting full pretty quick. Pretty quick. This is harder than I thought it was going to be.
Well, they won. Obscura won the vote. Oh, you put it on.
Yeah, because it's also perfect because Propaganda is a Canadian band, and they sort of play metal.
Propaganda Victory Lap is an incredible record that's metallic as fuck.
Yeah.
Metallic as fuck.
Metallic as fuck? Damn.
Didn't realize we were on the Blaine Smith stream. Chris Hanna for the win. Literal musical genius.
Why is this not? There we go. Yeah, Chris Hanna. God. Wrong stream lane. Yeah.
Everyone's saying it. It's true.
Sorry. Why did I say that? It's something you always say.
That's like when you said the Like, I was like, dude, what are you doing? You gave me the riot act about what I'm allowed to and not allowed to say, and then you say something like that. Really mixed signals.
Oh, God.
Okay, here we go.
I blacked out a little bit.
Strapping young lad. I know everyone's talking about Devi, but do we just put strapping to settle the Devi? And do we just put city because it's clearly the album?
So there's
Wow,
so many more.
Alien.
A country is hard. A country is harder than I thought. Do we have to put essential early, essential like modern, and then essential current? Do we need another thing? Because someone mentioned Tomb Mold. There's a bunch of bands that came out recently that we don't have a lot of space left.
No, but we do have like the rest. Like, listen, so just because something's amazing doesn't mean it's essential. Yeah. Like, I think essential carries a little more weight.
Yeah.
Like, what's part of an essential diet versus what are the things you actually want in your diet?
Yeah, but like, you've got things like Woods of Ypres,
Ypres,
Blood Ceremony, Archspire, Tomb Mold, Traveler,
Striker,
Skullfist I didn't include just because I feel like if you included Cauldron, you've covered Skullfist.
No, man, you need to. No.
No, Skullfist is really good, but
the two bands are nothing alike.
There's just, I don't know. There's only so much space, and I feel like that is a
Skullfist head of the pack. The only reason I would say that would go in your like not essentials, but your others is because like those are literally songs that we all watched them play live for like 8 years before they were on that record. Those songs were fucking perfected.
I'm gonna
Get
put
Fisted.
I'm gonna put two in the rest because there's no way they should be up there. But you should absolutely listen to them. And I feel like part of the stream is for people finding new bands. And I feel like I always need to tell you, and I always need to give you some homework. So there's two bands, two of Canada's best kept secrets. Sarah and I admittedly talked about one of them on the last stream, but there might be different people here if you didn't. Two essential Canadian metal bands, albums that there's no way they can go on the essentials list because no one has heard of them. But they are two of our best kept secrets. Where am I? Where's my list? Where's my list? No. Not so modern, and that I haven't had a chance. That I will never get a chance to talk about either of these bands.
Stank.
This is the only situation where I will ever get a chance to talk about either of these bands. Well, except this one where I talked about Sarah. But Inepsy is an essential Canadian metal band. City Weapons 2005.
In that band.
City Weapons 2005. Amazing record if you like crusty metal, if you like punky metal. One of the best live bands. Just awesome, and a great time to kind of
awesome.
To shout them out, and then even more secret, but even more beloved is it's coming out at the same time as City Weapons as well. Rammer, Cancer.
Bro, if you're like literally putting Rammer on the list, you have to put Head of the Pack on that list.
I'm not putting it on the list. I just want to mention because people know who Skullfist are. Nobody knows who Rammer is, and they should know Rammer, Cancer. If you like thrash metal that's really heavy, thrash metal with a lot of death influence, please look up Rammer. We talked about Skullfist a lot on the last stream as well, as part of the reason I'm glossing over Skullfist. But Rammer, and Skullfist just had a record to come out. Skullfist is getting talked about enough. Rammer is a great name, great logo, great guys, great boys in Rammer.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, though, like, if you lived in North America in that era, you know Rammer. They toured a shitload. They are very popular. They did even, like, when Skeleton Witch, on the final run that Skeleton Witch did in North America, they brought Abyss onto the Toronto show, and he's like, hey, when we first toured North America for the first time, we encountered this band called Rammer. It was like, dude, Rammer was poised to be fucking massive. There was just a Rammer reissue. That's the new album cover. That's the Rammer reissue. Dude, Rammer's the shit.
It's hard to find high quality. It's hard to find high quality JPEGs of the original cover of Cancer.
Rammer's the shit.
So yeah, no one in the chat knows Rammer. The rest is kind of also recommended. Yeah. Those are the daily specials. They're not on the menu, but they're daily specials.
Rammer's the shit. Shared a member with that band too. Al played drums in that band.
Yeah. Rammer is amazing. A fantastic band. Definitely one you should know. And yeah. Okay, so there's no way we cannot.
There was just a reissue of Cancer too. A label just put it out, I think, like a remastered, repackaged version. I think it exists. Craig, who was managing or traveling with them at the time, recently gave me a copy of that on CD. Fucking sick record. Anyways,
we have another Fog.
Is that who did the?
Oh wait, no,
Aggressors from France.
It's sold out. Never mind.
Aggressors from France.
Can you get them? Is it available on the band camps? It's not.
Is Aggressor from France? I'm pretty sure they're from France.
Aggressor?
Yeah, were they from France? Gotta be. Right?
Who's Aggressor?
Country of origin, not this one.
Who's Aggressor?
I'm pretty sure they're from France. Am I wrong?
Aggressor is a French death metal band which started in 1986.
Yeah. France. Aggressor. French death metal band. Not the local band Aggressor. Stop it, Deadpan. The real Aggressor from France. The one that's like in magazines and stuff. You know?
No, I meant Dekay's band?
No. Stop it. It's not happening. Stop it. I've been back on stream for an hour and a half or something. You don't need to suck up anymore. It's over. It's done.
They're worried you're going to leave us again.
What's the difference between that and Quebec? Don't ask a Frenchman. They'll be very pissed off.
But ask someone from Quebec. They'll feel like it's a great compliment you just gave them.
Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, that's the Canadian Aggressor.
Oh, we're in the way.
I'm thankful that my face is covered in that photo. Can I tell you something hilarious? The Cannabis Corpse shirt I'm wearing in that photo, I still have. Because I bought it when Cannabis Corpse first record came out. That is me without a beard.
There's your boy.
That is what I look like without a beard.
There's your boy.
Yeah, that is me. Great. Thanks for doing that. Now, anyways.
We have fun around here.
That was on our final release, Beyond All Reckoning. Go look up what the release before was called and tell me that our band would not be allowed to exist today.
I mean, no, the album cover implies consent.
You should, even in that era, you should have seen the letters we got from activist groups. And like it was a really.
I think actually.
We talked about this on the podcast. I think
if you think about it, it's actually aged. It's better now than it was then, because with all the talk of consent and involved in sex, and that just whatever you're into, as long as you're both consenting adults, the record title implies consent. Well,
the record title wasn't sexual. It was actually we were way ahead of ourselves as young people with the thinking. It was like a statement on corporate America, and because the T-shirt art had like a Hollywood
Thrash
sign.
bands making statements about corporate America. I never.
I know, but it was like literally written by like 16-year-old kids. It was crazy. And like the album art, Phil Bernard did the shirt that had like a Hollywood sign with movie theaters and Dairy Queen and like fast food and drugs and sex and alcohol, like all these things that we like let distract us from. And there was actually a goat horn keg on there.
And hey, okay, so here's I mean, because it could even be a counterpoint where you're telling people there are people out, if this is what you're into, there is someone out there into this. So do it with the people that are into it, you piece of shit.
Okay, anyways.
So look, hey, I'm just saying.
Aggressor from France, anyways.
Aggressor from France. All I'm saying is, you know,
we have another spot available on this list.
We don't have a Devin Townsend.
We need to do
created item.
Yeah,
on
we
there.
need like Strapping Young Lad City on there.
So I only downloaded Strapping Young Lad because I mean I don't understand what's happening on Devin Townsend records. Woods of Ypres, Pain X Piss.
Yeah, I know that's another one we need. It's like literally like so.
Okay, time for my paragraph on why Woods of Ypres deserve a spot on Modern Essential. David Gold was an exceptional songwriter. His composition in the early oh my god, days of the band. This is old school Lockhorns. This is YouTube Lockhorns.
Yeah, this is when we actually used to read like 20 fucking lines comments.
I'll read it though. This is great. No, you know what? I think we need to communicate. I know we're on Twitch and short is short.
David Gold, rest in
Twitch,
peace.
but. This is a discussion show. This is what we're here for. So big, long comments. We're not mad at those here. If you're really passionate about a band and you put a long comment in there, I'm going to read it out. Just don't put the comment multiple times. That's
everybody type one letter into the chat and hit enter.
Okay. David Gold was an exceptional songwriter whose composition in the early black metal days of the band really helped them stand out. And with their incorporation of doom metal elements on the second half of their catalog, it was expanded to pure cinematic horizons. The string sections on Woods 4, the Green Album, that also carried into Woods 5, elevated their sound. Their mixture of raw blackened aggression from the lights of Agalloch mixed with Paradise Lost meets typo negative flavored doom was fantastic. The addition of Joel Violette on guitars, handling co-writing for their final record, just added an additional ingredient to really tie everything together to what I think is the band's magnum opus, to which I do agree. The album covers here, it's one of the worst album covers I've ever seen in my life. That's one of my gripes with the album. But other than that, I don't have a lot of gripes with the album because I do think Woods of Ypres are like Canada's, like, I don't know, Canada's Panopticon, yeah, or like even like Canada's like Warning, just in how good the doom that's in there is. And
it's the only
the CN Tower on a metal album cover is something I never need to see though.
It's honestly like it's one of the only ones we have that is like weird, folky, death, doom, black, like just like musicians' music. It really is musicians' music. There's gorgeous compositions. Helmstever. If Metal on Metal sits in the rest and we don't have Strapping Young Lad on there yet, then Woods of Ypres can sit in the rest as well.
Yes.
Deserves to be on the list. Hundo P. Throw it down in that final category and get me some goddamn fucking get me some goddamn fucking Strapping Young Lad on that list.
So I'm putting the poll.
Also, Cataclysm's not on the list yet, which is also kind of weird. Just throwing that out there.
I didn't think, I wasn't, you never, before you do the show, you're always like, is there going to be enough friction? It feels kind of like these are locked in. I don't know. And then, boy, you run out of space real quick. So, SYL, which record is it? Is it Alien or is it City? Yeah. Okay, you have three options.
I think it's Alien City, or is it heavy? What is it? Heavy as a really heavy thing.
So you have three options. Strapping Young Lad. We've got Alien, we've got City, and then if you're some massive Devin Townsend fan that's some other nonsense,
Simon fan,
some other nonsense that he's done, you can, if you think one of these two is wrong, we can maybe, if some other nonsense runs away.
There's only like two other albums. There's the
there's the
self-titled, there's the self-titled, there's the New Black. No, I know the whole discog. There's the self-titled, there's the New Black, there's Heavy, Alien, and City. There's 5 albums. Am I right?
I'm just saying if someone wants to say like, well, his work on the Devin Townsend project is more and blah, 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 blah. I went to art school, blah, 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 blah.
I like Devin after the scholar.
I play oboe in a,
DK's right. I thought so. Dude, it was so cool. I was like, we just played in Philly, and there's this real cool dude wearing like board shorts, long like blonde and gray hair, wearing board shorts and flip-flops backstage, and like everyone was talking to him. All the guys in corner were talking to him. Phil Demel's talking to him. Sean Killian's talking to him. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's everyone's showing him his guitars, and he's shredding on everyone's guitars. He's talking about his signature model. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? So I walk up to him. I'm like, hey man, and Phil's like, oh Phil, have you met my friend Jed? And I just look at him like, are you Jed Simon from Strapping Young Lad? He's like, yeah, dude. I'm like, you live in Philly? He's like, yeah, dude. I'm like, that's fucking insane. I had no idea.
What a strange town to move to.
Right?
I mean, I guess if you like getting punched in the back of the head at a bar, it's probably one of the best places on earth to do that.
That's so cool. He was like so chill. He's like, dude, you came to the metal show in fucking like board shorts and flip-flops. Like, I wish I was that chill. I've never been that chill in my life. I've never been that chill on vacation. I don't know chill.
There was actually so you know me, I'm a UFC fan, and I was watching Ultimate Fighter, and it was Conor McGregor, Uriah Faber, and I hate both of these guys. But at one point, Uriah Faber's in like flip-flops, board shorts, and like a raggedy tank top, and Conor McGregor's in like a $5,000 suit.
Yeah.
And Conor's like, you dressed like a bum, you got $1 million, you dressed like a bum, blah 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 blah. And he goes, and he's like, I make money, so I don't have to dress like that. And I'm like, I couldn't agree more.
It's pretty funny.
It's like, you dress like that because you make money. I dress like this because I make money.
I heard, anyways, I just have another story that resonates. Rock stars who take that approach to it are doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would I want to wear a suit ever if I had the option not to? Financially secured in a way where I never have to put on a piece of clothing that's chafy and uncomfortable.
Dark Lord Fabio nailed it. Devin Townsend project's insanely rad, but Strapping Young Lad, you can't you cannot deny the impact that it had on industrial and extreme
Was it
metal.
City or Alien that won?
Alien won.
Alien won.
No,
Alien
sorry,
won.
City won. City
Alien-
won. City won.
Alien
City
won?
won. City
City
won.
won?
City won. City won. Right? Someone confirmed to me. City won. It wasn't a landslide. It was only like 9 votes or something. I do not enjoy suits. Neither do I.
Neither do I.
I like a button-up shirt every once in a while, but not the whole suit. Yeah,
City
City
won.
won. We
City
can trust. We can trust Best Boy Payne.
Yeah. He's a mod.
Oh, he's a mod here. I didn't even notice that.
Yep. We can trust him to be a mod here because he's professional. He can be professional.
Yeah, dude. Dude, how is
Payne
Payne and Piss a mod? This guy like
he's professional over here.
Not over there.
When you tell him to be professional, he'll be professional. But when
he's the king of the snowball fight over
when
there.
when you take the leash off, he's good on leash, which makes sense based on his lifestyle.
Hell, I'm a mod here. Inky's a mod here, dude.
Inky.
You literally picked the horniest mod squad.
Yeah, but they can be trusted with a job. They can be trusted with a job. Once you let them out, Lord knows what's going to happen. But yeah.
Okay, can I say there's no Cataclysm album on there? Seems a little
No
weird.
Cataclysm. There's a bunch of no albums on there.
Okay,
What
so
are we
what
missing?
else was on your like research list? That you made the list?
We are missing.
So I
Cataclysm. Yep, we are missing. Blood Ceremony is actually a very large, fairly influential band
it's not
that's
that,
Canadian.
It's like a little more occulty and hard rocky than it is metal.
But still, I'm just saying. Striker, another big one. Woodsy Yippers, another big one. Unleash the Archers is very large, I feel. Archspire.
Archspire, the relentless mutation specifically.
Relentless mutation. Oh, don't worry, it's relentless. Look, I didn't. Again, it's one of those ones where I didn't bother loading anything
Hey,
else.
Danton Hammer.
Danton Hammer.
Here's up for Archspire.
Archspire, yeah.
That should go on our others list for sure. That record's pretty fucking insane.
Yeah.
Stay tech, baby. Stay tech.
And then up to I had Traveler and Now, I gave it a 3.5, but people really love it. Oh, Tomb Mold. But people really love it, and it might be the most everybody's favorite black metal record out of Canada. It seems like is Spectral Wounds, A Diabolic Thirst. Even though
that was that one with the person on the cover on the table.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But obviously my feelings about Spectral Wound are slightly colored, so I can't be an objective judge. But
I listen, honestly, the rest of my list that isn't on there is only Skullfist, Striker, Tomb Mold, and for Tomb Mold the only acceptable answer is Manor. It's way better.
I do need to shout out Wormwitch because in our Patreon, a couple people mentioned Wormwitch, which is a Canadian black and crusty band that I've featured on Metal Monthly that I really liked. So yeah,
Woods of Yeep is not on there yet.
Woods of Yeep's not on there.
Yeep Ray and the others.
Yeah.
So I think Cataclysm, Woods, Skullfist, Striker, Tomb Mold, Devi, Arcspire. Those could have all gone there. What did you have here? So you have Arcspire right there.
You got Arcspire, yeah. There's Unleash the Archers. Jesus, there's so many great Canadian metal bands that we
really like new though. Like how can Traveler be an essential album?
Yes. No, I agree. Well then, but the problem is Tomb Mold is really goddamn new and that feels really essential. Same with Archspire and Unleash the Archers and Cataclysm.
Okay, but some of these bands are some of these bands aren't really creating something new the way that
I'm gonna take Ramarin and Epsi off there. I just wanted to shout them out. I just wanted them to get a little bit of love.
They deserve to be loved. What's that one in the middle? What is that?
Which one?
Next to Woods of Yeep.
This one?
Yeah.
It's Cataclysm.
Which one is that? What album is that?
That is what year did it come out? That's Sorcery, 1995.
Is that the Cataclysm album?
Is that the Cataclysm
Cataclysm's not my specialty, but I recognize the legacy. Recognize the legacy. So I did this for you guys. I said the Cataclysm wasn't on here because I did it for the chat because I thought they would all be like, fuck yeah. And no one seems to be making a lot of noise for it.
I mean, Cataclysm is good, but
it should be on there. I mean, if we're gonna do a complete list.
Yeah, I feel like they're essential,
Strapping Young
but
Lad
I don't.
is on the list though. It's already done.
Yeah, you can just it's right in the middle there. Where's Nickelback? It's not a
playing
hard
my
rock
birthday
list.
party.
It's not a hard rock list. So maybe this is the list, though. Maybe this is...
It's pretty good looking.
That's a pretty good list. We did a good job.
Anvil, Killer Dwarfs, Kickaxe, Woods, Cataclysm, Arcspire, Tomb Mold. What's that?
Atramentus is another great. Should be Manor of Infinite Forms, but...
Yeah, oh yeah. I was going to say, you have the wrong...
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's...
You have the wrong Tomb Mold album.
Yes, but think about how much this album is they're popping off, man. I know.
I don't like this album compared to Manor. Come on.
But it did so much better than Manor. I mean,
Manor's so much better.
I'm not saying it's better than Manor. I'm just saying again.
Manor made a way bigger.
Sometimes on the list, you don't pick the best. You pick the most powerful. But it's in the rest, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I can put Manor. I can switch it to Manor. I can do whatever I want. I control the computer. Okay. So.
Oh yeah, and Protest didn't get mentioned once.
Protest the Hero?
Yeah.
Are they metal?
Prog metal.
They're a metal band?
What's the album that should be on there? I'm not a huge Protest specialist, but I would say it's Colors should be the one that's on there, right? Aren't they metalcore? I mean, metalcore's still metal, is it not? Fortress should be the album. Should not be Colors.
Protest the Hero does not have an entry on metal-archives.com.
Are they just prog rock or are they prog metal? I believe they're prog metal, right? It's prog metal, man.
Hey, Burn, that's good to see you. What Tomb Mold record did we use for the old school death metal episode? That's a good question. I can't remember.
Must have been Manor.
Easy Bake Coven, you'll simply cope with no Thanafaxath. Look, I love Thanafaxath as well, but I think you and I are the only people here that have heard them.
Bitbam's Colors. Yeah, Colors is Bitbam. You're right. I fucked that up.
Bitbam. The archives are incomplete. Yeah, I don't know. Protest the Hero, I don't listen to. I don't know the band well enough, and
Their bass player produced.
I thought they were like a metal adjacent.
No, they're prog metal. If Dylan was here, Dylan would speak very highly of them.
Exactly. So they're not metal. We have fun.
Protest should probably be Fortress. That's what everyone's saying. I know, Inky. That was mean. I think he's confusing him with someone else.
Toxic work environment.
Inky, see the head of HR. His name's Blaine Smith.
Howdy. You saw Thanafax have at Maryland Death Fest, I think. See, that's why they're not on the essential list. I love Thanafax Ath. I gotta dig it up. I got a really nice Thanafax Ath t-shirt somewhere in a storage locker.
Hey guys, this is the speed round. We have the list here.
I think we're good. We talked about everything. We talked about a little underground. I gave them homework. You're listening to Rammer's Cancer. When you go home, and an any Epsi album really, but especially City Weapons
on the Essential Modern. I love it.
Yeah, the guest. I mean, you're sort of a guest. The guest is always allowed to make a demand. No Quebecois black metal on the list, but I'll let it be. The problem with the Quebecois metal is they're all nationalists. They're all Quebec nationalists, so it gets dicey.
Honorable mention, Quavadis, great band from Quebec. Yeah, Quavadis is incredible. I'll never forget my first time going to see Quavadis. I was a teenager. It was an all-ages show, and the show was Martyr, Quavadis, and there was another Quebec extreme band on it that was fucking awesome too. But Martyr and Quavadis were two of the first French extreme bands I ever saw, and they're the shit. Yeah. Everyone check both those bands out as well.
Look, I'd easily toss a Fortress album up there if I didn't have to worry about what Fortress are doing in their spare time.
I was living in Ottawa. I went to go see them do an all-ages show at Mavericks.
Okay.
Is there any a speed round? Is there any last anyone can make an argument
speed for now a band or forever? Yeah. Hold your peace. Your boys got to see the doobies.
Does that mean you're gonna smoke weed tonight?
Probably not.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say you'll have 1.5 beers as usual, light beers.
Oh,
a couple of vodka sodas.
Unfortunately, I don't think
you're on the vodka sodas.
I don't think they sell Busch Light at the amphitheater.
Dude, I love Busch Light.
At the Budweiser amphitheater.
You can go to Blaine's house and drink 47 Busch Lights and not get drunk.
It's perfect. It's beautiful.
It's really strat.
Atramentus is great. I featured them in Metal Monthly. Essential Canadian metal. They are not. Even no matter how good they are. You and I have heard of them. Again, we forgot Sum 41. Sum 41's worth a mention. As I know you're being a little gaggy, but that was the first concert I saw on my lonesome.
Busch Light is made by Anheuser-Busch, which makes Budweiser. You might be in luck. You may be in luck. I like this list. I think we did a great job.
I think we did a great job. I think you did a great job.
Happy Canada Day. You're Ontario. City is a burial ground. Never forget it.
Yeah. Be good to people.
David Gold said it best. Rest in peace.